Horizon Zero Dawn is an amazing game and one of the best gameplay experiences I've ever had. I'm so glad I decided to give it another shot. You see, I first tried playing it after The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and couldn't get into it because at the time it felt too clunky compared to the Nintendo masterpiece. I gave up after just playing an hour, which was a big mistake, one that I rectified after seeing the recent jaw-dropping footage from the sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. While the graphics of the sequel look absolutely insane, Horizon Zero Dawn still looks fantastic considering it came out in 2017. The environments are lush, beautiful and detailed, and the effects are incredible. And Aloy, the protagonist, is a wonderful empathic hero with just the right amount of wit and snark. She also has an extremely mysterious past that we get some huge revelations about over the course of the game. There's a lot to love about Horizon Zero Dawn, but I have to say that being a sci-fi fan, I found the story especially delightful and was totally sucked into it. The world building is spectacular. At first it doesn't seem like anything can come together cohesively. You're in some kind of dystopian Earth with different human tribes scattered across the land. While there is an abundance of nature everywhere, exploration leads you to find some areas rich in technology left over from God knows when. There are fierce machine animals that bear resemblance to current day animals and even some extinct ones. There are some living animals too, but not many. Why is that? How did all this happen? The mysteries are tantalizing, and the answers are doled out quite nicely as you make your way through the game. Suffice it to say, the revelations were more than I could have hoped for. There's a great answer to everything. I'm not an advocate of making video games into movies. The video game medium does things that movies just can't do. The player is put into the shoes of the protagonist and plays a part in driving their narrative forward. Having said that, I think Horizon Zero Dawn would be a major hit with crossover appeal if the right people made it into a series or a movie. Anyway, storytelling aside, another aspect I really enjoyed in the game was the combat mechanics. While you do have to fight some humans, the really thrilling, edge-of-the-seat fights are against the animal machines. As Aloy, you get to procure a nice variety of weapons that you can mix and match. Figuring out a machine's weak spots and taking them out is immensely gratifying. Initially, I used to avoid machines as much as possible, or cheese them from afar, but as I leveled up, got more weapons, and added to my skill set, I found myself raring to take them on. I can't remember the last time I had such exhilarating video game fights where I was literally fighting with the controller while shooting at enemies, dodging them, crafting arrows on the fly, and so on. The fantastic music transcends the game to a new level. The heart-pounding electro beats infused with more natural instruments really ratchets up the tension and gets your adrenaline going. Things get particularly insane when you fight one machine too close to some others and they all want to join the party, but it's such a rush when that happens. Aloy also controls amazingly. I love the way she can dodge and slide, and the bow and arrow mechanics feel spot on. One of the most fun activities to do in the game are the hunting trials, where you have to prove how great a hunter you are by performing a variety of tasks to take down different machines. Some tasks are harder than others, and you have to complete them all within a certain time limit. There are 3 different levels to each trial, and I got so into it that I tried and tried until I got the highest rating in all the trials. These were definitely a great addition, especially since the trials sometimes force you to use methods or even weapons you wouldn't normally use. Figuring out the right combination of weapons and approaches in order to shave off seconds was harrowing, but in a good way. I have never been into open world games. Breath of the Wild was the only one I had enjoyed, but I found the gameplay loops in Horizon Zero Dawn so satisfying that it's the only game that I platinumed. I completed all the side quests, errands, and what have you. I also collected all the collectibles, from ancient figurines, strange metal flowers, and hologram recorders that gave sparse details about the massive war against the machines that had happened in the past. I completed all the corrupted zones, the cauldrons, and the bandit camps. I also got all the best weapons, all the outfits, every skill there was to learn, and maxed out all my storage by collecting the various ingredients needed. This is the only game in which I collected all the trophies. I don't usually bother trying to do that, but I think Horizon Zero Dawn is a relatively easy game to platinum, and it never felt like a grind. I spent around 90 hours on Horizon Zero Dawn. I know people who have spent far less time on it, but I was so taken with it that I took my time exploring every nook and cranny. I was fascinated the first time I came across a cauldron. I was in awe the first time I saw a tall neck and had to climb it to unlock more of the map. I was fearful every time I came across a new ferocious beast. The platforming elements are also not bad. While the platforming is not as elaborate as say Tomb Raider, there is enough that makes it fun to get from one point to the other. The ending of the game really delivered in a big way. It culminated in an all-out impressive spectacle, just like the third act of a blockbuster game or movie with great production values. It wasn't particularly hard, as I had leveled up a whole lot by that time, but I think it was earned. The conclusion even hinted at mysteries yet to come. In fact, there was a clue to the sequel in an entry about the Forbidden West that I found while exploring. There is no doubt that the writers have put a lot of thought into everything. After completing it, I missed the gameplay so much that I fired up the Frozen Wilds DLC immediately. The DLC featured a pretty hefty quest with an amazing new storyline that feels fresh and adds a lot of intriguing elements. The graphics are even better than the base game, which is saying a lot. There are some twists on missions that are similar to the ones I had already played, and getting all the collectibles led to some pretty cool payoffs. There are also machine animals that are much more dangerous than the ones that had come before. Fortunately, there are some new souped up weapons to help level the playing field just a little bit. The hunting trials were super hard, and usually I got the highest rating with only seconds to spare. I played on normal, but I had a hard time with some of the beasts even though I wore the special shield weaver armor almost all the time. Even the bandit camp was a lot harder than all the other ones I had played before. I also found the characters I met in the DLC to be extremely interesting, and some even led to some entertaining challenges. This DLC can be played before the ending of the original Horizon Zero Dawn 2, but I preferred playing it afterwards so that I didn't ruin the momentum of that main quest. The story and the lore is extremely rich and stands very well on its own. It took me 20 to 30 hours to complete it, but once again, I took my time. I made sure that I got all the new weapons, outfits, and collectibles. I also completed all the quests, side quests, errands, and got all the trophies. I'm super excited about the sequel now. From the Sony State of Play, there seems to be some amazing refinements. Aloy can use a grappling hook like Link's hook shot, and she can also glide like him in Breath of the Wild. She can also swim underwater, throw smoke bombs, and it seems like she's got a lot of different weapons. I'm looking forward to this as much as I'm looking forward to the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it's funny that they may both come out in the same year again. I can't wait to see what Guerrilla Games has in store for us.